Here's my version of it. So the first thing we're going to do is start with about a pound of lean ground beef. And I'm also going to get about 8 ounces of the real small pasta. I'm using the shells, but if you have another type of small pasta, that would work too. You don't want to use like the big noodles, so we're going to do about half a box of that, about 8 ounces of that. So I just want to get that going. So how about that Packers game yesterday? Oh my gosh, that was so exciting. So the fam and I, we went to Michigan to our cottage to kind of soak in the fall colors, and we're not sure exactly when we're going to get back there. Hopefully Thanksgiving. But anyway, so we went there to kind of shut it down, make sure it was okay, and check out the fall colors. And so we took 2 separate cars. I was able to go earlier, and Bob came up later. And so anyway, on the way back, Ireland and I were riding together with Arlo, the dog, who absolutely loves it up there, didn't want to go home. He told me so. But anyway, we were on our way back, and we were listening to the game. And she was kind of doing homework and doing other stuff, wasn't really into the game until that last couple minutes. And let me tell you, there was some screaming going on in our car. Poor Arlo's going, what in the world is going on? But screaming in a good way. What a finish to that game. It was fantastic. 4-2, we like that. Good start to the season. Let's keep it going. Now we got a home game this weekend, so pretty excited about that. Okay, so to my ground beef, Ann just asked me if I'm going. I went to the last game, the Thursday night game. It was great fun. Not sure. No one's invited me yet. Are you inviting me? So I'm adding some celery, and these are the normal components that I use in a lot of soups and stews. Love to throw lots of vegetables in there. So I'm doing celery, carrot, and onions, which is just about any soup that my mom made growing up had all of those ingredients. And I finally diced the carrots. What I like about this soup recipe, which I say it's almost like in between a soup and a stew, it's really like a chili-like consistency, is that it's pretty quick fix. It's not an all-day deal. Yeah, I have some recipes for some soups and stews that really take their good old time, but most days I don't have that kind of time. So this is going to be together in 20 minutes or even less. Anne, thank you very much. She asked, did I salt the pasta? Oh, it's a Monday morning. I kind of have a little bit of the Mondays going on. So salt the water for pasta, always important to do that. That's really the only way you're going to be able to season that pasta. I'm also going to salt and pepper my mixture here. When you're doing soups and stews, it's so important to season as you go instead of waiting till the very end. So you basically just want to cook this until it's no longer pink and nice and crumbly, which we're just about there. We're going to do some fresh garlic. Just give that a rough chop. The colors were so beautiful up north. Oh my gosh, took some nice long walks and went to a pumpkin patch. And if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you can kind of see what I'm up to. But we went to a farm market that's been around forever, and oh my gosh, I've never seen so many. Who knew pumpkins came in so many colors? I mean, there's some pretty cool pumpkins out there, so of course had to buy a bunch of them, and acorn squash and spaghetti squash. And Ireland and I will take shopping at a farmer's market over shopping at a mall any day. Although I do like shopping at a mall once in a while. But the beauty of the farmer's market is you don't have to spend a ton of money. You take like 20, 30 bucks and you leave with bags full. Oh, this smells so good. When you're making soups and stews at home, it just makes the house smell so homey and delicious. Okay, so now we're going to take some shortcuts and really keep things nice and easy. We've just got a bunch of cans that we're going to dump in. I've got one big can of crushed tomatoes. I'm real excited about our next big night out coming up. It's coming up in November, and we're going to give you all the details in just a few minutes. So keep watching. Our last couple big night outs have been sold out and have just been a blast. So you don't want to be missing out on our next one, especially if you like Italian food. It's going to kind of have an Italian twist to it. Several different courses paired with wines. It's going to be great fun. November is a good time to kind of get out of the house before the holidays start and everyone's so crazy busy. So we've got 1 can of kidney beans, 1 can of tomato sauce, and 1 can of Great Northern, or you could also do the cannellini beans. I'm going to add some Italian seasoning to this. I've got oregano and basil, and we're just going to start dumping the rest in. In goes our tomato. It's 1 big can of crushed tomatoes. I always like to run a little bit of water in the can just to make sure and get every little last bit of that tomato out of there, and then our can's all ready for the recycling bin. Really excited about a guest that we've got coming up later in the show. She's a girl after my own heart. She loves to cook, and she came up with a really great healthy stew recipe, and actually was able to go to the White House and meet Michelle Obama. Anyway, she's from the Appleton area, and we have teamed up together trying to get kids to eat a little more healthy and try different things. So she's going to be cooking up her really cool African stew recipe coming up in a little bit. So in goes 1 can of tomato sauce. Now our beans, I like to drain and rinse them quick. Just because the liquid in the can is not something I really want in my soup. So, and it's as easy as just dumping them into a colander, running a little bit of water over them. So the 2 different cans of beans, I'm trying to put more beans into more of my recipes because they really fill you up. They're good for you. A lot of fiber, and both my kids actually like them. So from soups to stews and main courses, even salads, love to throw some beans in there. And this one has 2 cans. Also, they're really affordable. Now, we did ground beef. If you wanted to lighten this up, you could certainly do ground chicken or ground turkey, and it would work perfectly in this recipe. Maybe just season it a little bit more. But this is one of those recipes that makes a real easy switch. Sometimes, like if you're doing a burger with ground turkey or ground chicken, you really need to add some different things because it might be a little dry, like an egg or some, chopped onion, chopped vegetable. But in something like this, in tacos, a spaghetti sauce, a soup, or a stew, it's a real easy way to make a lighter switch, or you just use very lean ground beef. Okay, so I'm going to drain my pasta here. Anne has the biggest pasta pot out here. Thank you, Anne. We love our countertops because we can just put a hot pan right on those. Now, I don't like to put the pasta in until either right at the very end, or actually, I know at a lot of the, my favorite restaurants, what they do is they actually, and some beef stock was the last thing I'm going to add to this, depends how thick or thin you want this. I want this to be a pretty thick, like I say, chili-like dish, so I like to keep it pretty thick. But rather than put the pasta in now, then you risk it getting mushy, and who likes mushy pasta? I actually like to do it at the very end, or even better, to actually do the pasta in the bowl first, and then do the soup part right over it, and that way you don't risk getting any mushy pasta. And then, of course, I love to garnish this, and I'd let this simmer for a little bit longer at home, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, just so the veggies get a little tender. But this is so good. It's rib sticking food. Leftovers are great. They actually would freeze fantastically. Love to serve this with a little bit of fresh grated Parmesan cheese over the top too. So there you go. This one is a winner and pretty healthy too. We'll put the recipe on the website. You can also get this recipe at Super Ron's in Pulaski. They are a sponsor of our show now, and you'll be able to get some of my recipes right there. A great neighborhood grocery store in Pulaski. So thank you to Super Ron's.